Hi everyone! Recently, I did a podcast episode with World Work. It was a very interesting discussion about intercultural communication. And one of the things that we talked about was why is empathy important when dealing with people from different backgrounds and different cultures from your own. One of the reasons why is because they will have deep-seated values that we cannot immediately recognize, but these values will definitely affect their behavior. For example, one value could be that I am more focused on individualism versus collectivism. So individualism would be an emphasis on the self. And then collectivism would be an emphasis on the group. And that would definitely influence how we think, how we make decisions, and how we interact with people on a daily basis. Okay, so if someone does something that is different from what you think is normal, do you immediately judge and react according to your standards based on your values? Or can you try to stand in the other person's shoes, think from their perspective, and understand what is their position or their value in this situation? After you do this, maybe even asking some open-ended questions or doing some research or discussing with other friends, you could have a broader mind to understand their behavior. So that, in a nutshell, in an intercultural context, what it would mean to practice empathy. And there's one more step. After you can understand their behavior, then you need to accept it. Accepting it means that you are no longer asking them to change their behavior based on your own standards, but rather you're willing to meet them halfway so that there can be a more global and more flexible environment that could be good for everybody involved. So my suggestion to you is, if you do have coworkers, friends, or perhaps even neighbors from a culture that's very different from yours, and you do sometimes feel like you are sort of, hitting a wall and you just don't understand what's happening, maybe take a step back, think about it from their perspective, and see what comes up. My final tip here is that also it's important to understand and recognize your weaknesses. So, of course, no person, as well as no culture, is perfect. All of us have strengths and weaknesses, and that can extend from an individual to a group. So if you take the time, without feeling embarrassed, or feeling frustrated, or even impatient about your own weaknesses, and you can recognize them, then you'll be much more open-minded and willing to understand that, of course, your friend or this other person or this other group of people will have their weaknesses too. So in this situation, if you're understanding and acknowledging, accepting your weaknesses, as well as the other, you can transform these weaknesses into strengths. Try it out. See how it goes. And if you'd like, please let me know. Thank you so much, and see you next time.